Welcome to Manifesting Your Dreams into Reality. My name is Mike Powell, and I'm so excited that you're here to join us today to talk about what you can do to take your life, your career, and your business to the next level. Over the next 35 or 40 minutes, we're going to share strategies that you can use to help you get what you want out of your life. And this is going to focus on 4 areas. First, we're going to focus on a vision. Next, we're going to talk about setting goals, how to create a plan, and last but not least, understanding the choices that you make. So let's start with vision. It's very important for you to have a vision. We talk about manifesting your dreams into your reality, but first, in order to do that, you have to have a dream. You have to have a vision. When I teach leadership, I teach that having vision is the ability to understand where things are and where things could be. So it's important to have a vision. A lot of times there are things that we want to do. There are ideas that we have. There are dreams that we want to achieve one day, but we have never articulated into a specific vision or a dream. So the first step, and let me congratulate you because you are already here because you have taken that first step of having a dream, having a vision. So you have your vision. Now what are you going to do with it? I tell people all the time, it's not enough to just have a vision unless you have a plan that goes with it. If you're like me, you probably know a whole lot of people that say what they're going to do, what they want to do, what they want to achieve in their life. Every single year around New Year's, you hear people talking about new year, new me. I'm going to do this. Here are my New Year's resolutions. This is the person that I want to be, and these are the things that I'm going to do. But they never stop to put those things into goals, into plans, and into action. So today, I want to talk about how you can take those visions, take those dreams, and turn them into reality. So the first thing that you need to do once you have a vision is to then set some goals. See, it's easy to dream about something. It's easy to say, this is the vision that I have for myself. This is the vision that I have for my business. This is the vision that I have for my family. But it's a lot more challenging to actually sit down and set goals to help you achieve those visions, achieve those dreams. I do vision mapping and dream setting and goal setting workshops every single year. And I always hear people say, you know, I've done this for myself at my job. I do this for my colleagues. I do this for my supervisor, but I've never actually stopped to take time and do this for myself. And my question is, why not? Why have you focused so much energy and so much time to helping other people achieve their dreams, other people achieve their visions, but not stopping to take the time to achieve yours? And it's probably because you've never stopped to take the time to write down the goals for yourself. So once you have a vision, the next thing that you need to do is to set some goals for yourself. Those goals can be short-term goals. They can be medium-term goals. They can be long-term goals. There are a lot of different methods you can use to set your goals. You can set SMART goals. You can set smarter goals. There's a 1 by 3 by 5 factorial method that you can use to set your goals. I don't care what method you use to achieve your goals. I don't care what method you use to write down and set your goals. But what's important is that you actually sit down to take the time to say to yourself, what is it that I want to achieve? And what are the goals that I'm going to set for myself? I would encourage you to look at a specific time frame. For me, I look at the current year and I say, these are the goals that I want to focus on for this particular year. It's important to have a focus for that particular year because we all know that life gets in the way. Things happen. People are always inundated with new ideas, new relationships, new situations. Life is just always going to happen. But if you say, these are the 4 things that I know I want to achieve this year, I guarantee you that no matter what happens, what distractions, what life events come up, you are always going to be able to go back and focus on those 4 things. So right now, I want you to stop and identify the 4 goals that you want to achieve this year. Those goals can be anything from personal goals, financial goals, relationship goals, academic goals, career goals, branding goals, marketing goals. I don't care what the goals are. What's important is that you set a goal. Now, one of the methods that's really, really popular for goal setting is SMART goals. If you're watching this, you've probably heard of SMART goals, and if you're not, let me tell you what SMART goals are. SMART goals is an acronym that helps people put a framework around the goals that they're setting. S is for specific, M is for measurable or meaningful, A is for action-oriented or achievable, R is for realistic, and T is for time-sensitive. I think that is a great method to help people set their goals. But let me push you to focus on two pieces on those SMART goals. I want you to focus on something that's specific, and I want you to focus on the timelines. See, we often say we're going to have goals, but until we are specific around what those goals are, it's hard for us to achieve them. Let me give an example. Oftentimes I hear people say they want to lose weight. I want to lose weight this year. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to be better. I want to do this. But losing weight is not a specific goal. Before I came here, I drank a gallon of water. And I guarantee you, if I go outside and run around this building 3 or 4 times, I can sweat out all that water and I will probably lose some weight. At least it'll look like I lost some weight on the scale. But my goal isn't just to lose 1 or 2 pounds. But if my goal is just to lose some weight, I've achieved my goal. So let me push you and encourage you to not just set generic goals. Set specific goals. Say, I don't want to just lose weight. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to lose 30 pounds. I want to fit into this outfit. I want to fit into these jeans. I want to fit into this shirt or this skirt or something specific that allows you to measure exactly when you achieve your goals. The next thing that's important is to make sure you identify a timeline. People say I'm going to lose weight all the time. I'm going to lose 20 pounds all the time. I have a very good friend who said, Mike, I've been trying to lose 20 pounds for 20 years, right? And he's probably worked towards it. But at some point we have to say, well, when are you going to do it? When are you going to start working out to achieve that goal? When are you going to start eating healthier to achieve that goal? When are you going to invest in a personal trainer? When are you going to go and get a new gym membership? When are you going to buy some new gym clothes so you feel comfortable for yourself when you go to work out? Give yourself a timeline. I guarantee you that the more specific your goal is and the more time sensitive and time driven that your goal is, you'll be more likely to achieve it. Now remember, I said I wanted you to identify 4 goals that you're going to achieve this year. So your timeline for achieving those goals should occur sometime during the course of this year. It's fine to have some short-term, some medium-term, and some long-term goals, but for those 4 that you're going to focus on, I want you to make sure that those goals are goals that you achieve this year. So make sure you set your deadline for sometime between January and December of when this year is going to start and end so that you can achieve your goals. But it's not enough to just set a deadline for when you're going to achieve your goals. You also need to set a deadline for when you're going to start working on your goals. So now, in addition to having the vision, in addition to having the goals, you need to have a plan. Your plan is what's going to give you the momentum, the energy, and the ability to execute on reaching your goals. So I want you to write down the steps that you need in order to achieve your goals. What are 4 things that you're going to do for each goal that you're going to set to achieve those goals? If losing weight is one of the goals that you want to lose, what are 4 things that you're going to do? You're going to start going to the gym once a week. You're going to start eating in the house 3 days a week. You're going to start weighing in once a week. You're going to work with a personal trainer 3 times a week. Whatever those action steps are that you're going to use to achieve your goals, I want to make sure that you come up with a plan and some deadlines so that you can do that. As a part of achieving your plan, you need to make sure you understand what are the resources that you need. There's going to be some time that you have to invest. There's going to be some money that you need to invest. There's going to be some conversations that you need to have to figure out the things that you don't know. Yeah, we have visions, we have dreams, but I guarantee you we don't know everything that we need to do in order to achieve those goals. So if you don't know, that's okay. But one of your steps for your plan should be to have a conversation, to do your research, to do your homework, to help figure that out. So one of the steps of your plan should be to figure out what it is that I don't know, to identify the resources that I need, to identify the people that I need to talk to. Your resources are going to be critical because we still have to live our lives. We still have families. We may have careers. We have other interests and passions and desires and things that we want to do, but we also want to achieve those dreams. We want to achieve those goals. And once you start writing out all of your goals and writing out all of the steps, you're going to realize that some of the things that you want to do are going to be in conflict. You're going to realize that that vacation that you want to take to go to Paris for a week is also going to be in conflict with the money that you want to save up to get that new certification. You're also going to realize that in order to go to the gym 4 days a week and spend an hour there, you're going to have to make sure that you have the time invested to make sure that you do what you need to do to take the time to be able to go to the gym. So when we're thinking about the resources, I want you to think very closely and think very deeply about the resources that you need. That's a part of your plan. The last step of creating your plan is to identify what are the things that I'm willing to sacrifice. You know, there are some things that I'm going to have to give up in order for me to reach my dreams. There are going to be some relationships that I might have to let go of. There might be some parties or some events or some vacations or some things that I really love and I really treasure that I'm going to have to sacrifice to reach my dreams. So it's important for me to understand what are those things that I need to sacrifice in order to make these things happen. In addition to understanding the things that you need to sacrifice, it's also important to understand the things that you're not willing to sacrifice. Achieving your visions, achieving a new goal, making your dreams come true is going to require a lot of work and effort. And it's important to understand what is the cost of doing those things. Is it going to pull you away from your family? Is it going to require you to spend more money than you have budgeted? Is it going to take you into becoming a person that you don't want to be? Is it going to conflict with the values that you have established for yourself? If you've never taken the time to think about the types of values that you hold near and dear, if you've never slowed yourself down to think about what your core values are, then you're going to have a difficult time understanding what you're not willing to sacrifice. So it's important to understand what those sacrifices have to be in order to achieve your dreams, but it's just as important to understand what you're not willing to sacrifice. I don't care how big my vision is. I don't care how big my dreams are. I'm not willing to sacrifice my relationship with my family. I'm not willing to sacrifice the things that I hold near and dear to me. It's just not that important to me. There are a lot of people that make a lot of money. They have achieved some level of success, and they're miserable because they have compromised their values. They have compromised the type of person that they want to be. I believe that a lot of the mental health that we are experiencing in this community today are for two reasons. One, because people have not been able to achieve the goals to become the person that they want to be. But the other reason is because people have put themselves in a position to live their life in a way that's inconsistent with their values. And so they're not happy. They're depressed. They don't feel good about who they are and the things that they need to do every single day. So it's important to make sure you understand what you need to sacrifice, but also what you're not willing to sacrifice. So understand what your goal is. Understand what the plan is to achieve that goal. Set some timelines to achieve that goal. Understand what the resources are that you need, and understand what the sacrifices or the obstacles are that you need to pay attention to in order to reach those goals. Let me let you all know that everyone who is listening to this recording right now will have an opportunity to download my free goal setting worksheet that's going to help you plan out all of the steps that you will take in order to achieve your goals. So there'll be a worksheet to help you identify what the goal is, identify what your values are, identify what your top goals are in certain areas, identify what you need to sacrifice, identify what those obstacles are. So please take advantage of that worksheet because it is very important. And you will be surprised that if you take an hour, just 1 hour to complete that worksheet, I promise you that in 6 months, you will be able to achieve, or say you've been able to achieve, at least one of those goals. I almost guarantee it, if you're serious about it, if this is something that is really important to you. So download that worksheet and start taking the steps you need in order to make your dreams a reality. So we talked about having a vision. We talked about having goals that help to specify that vision. We talked about having a plan that you're going to use to execute that vision. The last thing that you need in order to make your dreams a reality is you need to understand the power of the choices that you make every single day. We all go through life making choices. Even not making a choice is a choice. But there are some choices that we make, and they're going to impact our ability to achieve our goals. They're going to impact our ability to make our dreams come true. They're going to impact those visions that we have for ourselves and for our family and our friends and our community, because the choices that we make guide how we behave. And so it's important to understand, what are those choices that we make? Some of us go through life every single day and we don't understand the power that we have. We go through life blaming other people for our situation, blaming my finances, blaming the way I was brought up, blaming the schools that I went to, blaming the resources, blaming the community, blaming the politicians, blaming everybody, but never taking accountability for the choices that we make. And when you begin to look at the choices that you make and own those choices and hold yourself accountable for your choices, that's when you find power. But in order to understand those choices, you need to know a little bit about the dynamics of choices. So I know you all are probably wondering why I had this whiteboard up here. It's because I was saving this space for one of the most important pieces of this workshop, and that is understanding choices. So here's some characteristics of choice that I think is important for you to know. First, when it comes to choice, you need to understand, what is the payoff that you're getting for the choice that you make. See, every choice we make, there is something that we're getting in return for that choice. It might be a good feeling. It might be some money. It might be a relationship. It might be people seeing me and knowing me and having this brand that makes me feel like I'm a great person. But there is something that I get for that choice that I make. And it's important for me to understand, why do I make that choice? I was doing a workshop a few years ago with a manager of a community center. And he was telling me about how frustrated he was because the guys who play basketball always make their games drag out to the last moment. Now, if you've ever been in the community and you're playing a game of basketball with some guys, you know that that last 2 points are the most competitive points of the entire game. Guys will blow the whistle and they'll stop the ball and they'll make the game drag on for 30 more minutes. Only need 2 points. Takes 30 more minutes. But what this guy was discovering was that the games were dragging on, the rec center was supposed to be closed, and then he was leaving the rec center late every single night because he was allowing the guys to extend their game. So I asked him, I said, why do you allow them to do that? You're the manager of the rec center. You have the keys. You lock the doors. You can turn on the lights. What are you getting for that choice that you're making? And he said, Mike, I just want those guys to feel good. I want them to know that they have a place where they can come and they can feel welcomed and they can have a good time and let go of all the stress and the problems that they have during the day. And I want this to be a place that I can be proud of. And I said, that's great. That's very commendable. But also understand that that's a choice you make. When you allow the guys to continue to play beyond the time that the gym is supposed to be closing, that's your choice. You can't blame the guys. You can't blame the other people in the recreation center when you're the manager. There is a payoff that you're getting, and that payoff is a really good payoff. You feel good about yourself. You feel good about your community center. But when you go home, your wife is upset with you because you're late for dinner. And you feel bad because you haven't been able to spend as much time as you like for your child. And so now you feel bad and you go and you're blaming the guys when really, if you were just to say, guys, at 7 o'clock, it doesn't matter what the score is, the rec center is closed, then you take ownership and you take power over the situation. But we have to understand the payoff that we make for our choices. Here's another characteristic of choice. Choices can be both unconscious and they can be conscious. That means there are some choices that we make that we aren't even aware of the reason why we make those choices. My daughter was recently born. And when she was born, she spent the first 8 days of her life in the neo intensive care unit because she was a preemie. I believe and I imagine that many of the choices and the environment that she was in during that time are going to impact how she lives her life as she grows up. Now, I can't prove that, but those things may be unconscious. She may not like loud noise as she grows up. She may not like a whole lot of people crowding around her. She may not like enclosed spaces because her memories of being in an incubator may not be vivid to her, but there is something going on inside of her that says, you know what? I don't like elevators. I don't want to be in a closed area. I want to make sure that I'm in a space that's comfortable for me. And she's not even aware of why she makes that choice, because that choice is unconscious to her. So some of the choices that we make are unconscious. Now there's some choices that we make that we are very conscious of. We are very aware of those choices. That means we make the choice, we are clear on why we make the choice, and we are willing to go back and look at it and investigate it to understand what that choice was and why we make it. So it's important to understand that some of your choices are conscious and some of your choices are unconscious. That's a nature of your choice. Here's another characteristic of choices. Choices are neither good nor bad. Choices just are. Maybe you've heard of the saying, if I knew better, I would do better. Yeah, when you know better, that's information that you have after you make the choice, right? But you don't know that when you're making that choice. So I don't want you to blame yourself, to kick yourself for understanding that you made a choice and it didn't go the way that you wanted it to go. Just know that you made a choice. And that's important to understand because some people are scared to make a bad choice, so they won't make a choice at all. Some people will do this thing that we call paralysis by analysis. That means they think and they think and they think and they plan and they plan and they think, but they never make a choice because they're scared to make a bad choice. But understand your choices are neither good nor bad. They just are. So when you know that you've done your homework, you have all the data, you have all the information that makes you comfortable to make the choice, make the choice. And if it's not what you want, go back and look at it and figure out what you need to do differently. But don't sit around and beat yourself up because you feel bad because you didn't get what you wanted. If you knew better, you would do better. So understand that that is a characteristic of choice that you need to be aware of. The next characteristic is that choices are not subject to tyranny. Another word for tyranny is peer pressure or public pressure. The choice that you make is the choice that you make, and it's yours alone. There are some choices that are influenced by other people. They're influenced by situations. They're influenced by our environment, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, the choice is still yours. Even the choice to work at the job and have the employer and do the things that you need to do every single day, it's still a choice. And people say, oh, Mike, I got to pay my bills. I understand you got to pay your bills, but it's your choice to use the job and the employer that you work with to pay the bills and earn the money that you need to pay your bills right now. That's your choice. You can do something different. It may not earn you the money that you want. It may not afford you the lifestyle that you want, and that's okay. But be clear that that's your choice, because it does you no good to blame your job. It does you no good to blame your environment. It does you no good to go into a place every single day where you're dissatisfied, you're frustrated, you're not happy with your employer, with your relationships, with your finances, because you have the power to make different choices. And it does not matter what the environment's doing. It doesn't matter what your friends are doing. It doesn't matter what your family is doing. It matters what you want to do. So stop using peer pressure or tyranny from other people to impact the choices that you make. The last thing that you need to understand about choices is that when you are able to take power over your choices, personal accountability supplants blaming. That means when you understand the payoff that you make, when you understand that your choices are conscious, they're unconscious, when you understand that your choices are neither good nor bad, when you understand that there's no peer pressure, no tyranny, no environmental influences that force you to make a choice, that at the end of the day, you make the choices that you need to make because of something that's going on inside of you, then you can take personal accountability and stop blaming everybody. We have some dreams that we want to achieve. We have a vision for our life and for our family and a community that we want to transform into reality. But instead of doing that, we blame other people. And there's no power in that. The people outside, the people who are not in your sphere of influence, your sphere of concern, the people who are around you and have the ability to impact what you need to do, yeah, they are important to you. Yes, you absolutely want to weigh in and have a conversation with them and make them aware of your goals, your visions, your plans, your timeline. You want to make sure that they are a part of what you have going on. But at the end of the day, the choice is yours. So if you really, truly are serious about turning your dreams into reality, you need to make sure that you take ownership for your choices. You need to make sure that you hold yourself accountable for the things that you do, as well as the things that you don't do. And then you stop blaming other people for the things that you could have done for yourself. So those are the 4 things that you need to focus on in order to manifest your dreams into reality. You need to make sure you have a vision. You need to make sure that it's not just a vision that you have, but you translate that vision into some meaningful goals. It's important to make sure you take those goals and then execute a plan to reach those goals. And last but not least, you need to make sure that you take control of the choices that you make every single day. So those are the things that you need to do in order to take your dreams and manifest them into realities. Let me make you an offer right now. Anyone who is watching this video, please, if you would like some coaching, some support, some guidance, just someone to talk to help you reach those goals, I offer personal coaching where I can personally sit down with you one-on-one and help you work through what your vision is. help you work through what your goals are, help you understand what type of plan you need to develop, and maybe we can also talk about what are those choices that you make. So please don't hesitate to contact me on my social media at MP Consults. You can also email me at mike.powell@PCG-consults. And I look forward to working with you to help to take your life, your business, and your career to the next level. Let me end with this story. A few years ago, I was working with a young man, and I was mentoring him, and his mom called me up one day, and his name was Little O. And his mom said, Mike, can you call Little O because he's been having a problem getting to school on time. Little O lived right across the street from his school, but for some reason, he could not figure out how to get to school on time. So I called him up and I said, hey, Little O, what's going on? He said, hey, Mr. Mike, how you doing? I said, yeah, I was talking to your mom and she said that you're having some difficulties getting to school on time. You're fine once you get there, but for some reason you're tardy every single day. He said, yeah, Mike, I understand, but I got to help my little sister get to school and I have to wake her up and my mom works late at night, so I'm the man of the house and I'm only in the 6th grade and I don't understand why I have so much responsibility. And if I'm going to have that responsibility, then I'm going to choose when I get to school. I said, okay, that's fine. I get it. As we're talking, I glanced down at his feet. Little O got a pair of brand new Jordans on. Now, I don't know how many of you all are sneakerheads out there, but I'm a sneakerhead. And I know that in order to get those shoes that he had on, he had to go to the store, which was across town, stand in line, first thing in the morning, get a ticket so that he could get those brand new shiny Jordans that he had on his feet. And so as we're talking and he's giving me all these reasons why he can't get to school on time, I said, oh, I like those shoes that you got on. He said, smile, Mike, you like these? Yeah, I saved up my allowance. I've been working. I got all this money and I went to the store to get my shoes. And I said, oh, I know where that store is that you went to. I know it's across town and you don't have a car. You don't have any friends that have cars. You had to take the bus and then the train, and then you had to walk a few miles to get to that store on time to get those shoes. Now, answer this for me. How come you can do all of those things on a Saturday to go and get your shoes, save your money, take the bus, take the train, walk a few miles to get the shoes, but you can't get to school on time? That's right across the street from your house. He thought and he thought, and he said, I guess it's because those shoes were important to me. And getting to school wasn't important for me. And I said, that's exactly right. Those shoes are important to you. If you make getting to school just as important as you make those shoes, then you can get to school on time every single day. But it has to be important for you. Folks, you all need to understand that these dreams, these visions, these goals you have are not just going to achieve themselves, but if you make it important to you, it doesn't matter what you have to sacrifice. It doesn't matter the obstacles that you face. You are going to find a way to get it done. So make this year the year that you stop blaming and start taking action towards manifesting your dreams and turning them into reality. Thank you, and I look forward to connecting with you all soon.